Hello, hello. How is everyone this evening? So I'm trying to verify that we are live in all of the right places because I still have not gotten my Facebook alert. Isn't that weird? Technology's so much fun. All right. I believe that we are currently streaming on all three of our normal platforms, which is YouTube at Seriously Sweet Cupcakes, our private Facebook. Well, it's not really private because anybody can join it. You just have to do the membership questions. But we're streaming in the group called Cookie Snack Attack with Seriously Sweet. We are streaming on the Seriously Sweet page, and I have just shared it over to my personal page for people that follow me there. Hello, everybody. It's so exciting to see you tonight. How are you? So, if you were with me this morning, we began work on this cookie, and we're going to do a second mitten cookie tonight with a knit texture, or at least I hope we are. I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes, not a couple minutes, but a little bit. Let me give them more than 30 seconds to get here because I still am not seeing all of my alerts. So I just resent it. I did send out the text. Yay for me. I remembered. So silly. All right. And I know a bunch of people are going to be out tonight. There's a lot of different streams going on and things. So what I would like to do, if it's okay with you, is quickly remind you that if you are in the Valentine class that is being held via Zoom, if you have purchased that is being held on January 22nd from 4 to 7 p.m. via Zoom, unless more than 40 people join the live class. And if that happens, we'll switch it over real quick and go to a live Facebook feed within that private group for our class. And recordings will be available. A lot of people like to do the recordings instead of sitting in on the live, so that's fine as well. So that's the one thing I did want to remind you, that class is still up for sale, and it is up for sale on our website, which is www.seriouslysweetcupcakes.com. It's the only item up there for sale, so you'll be able to find it rather easily. And if you purchase that class anytime up until 6:30 Eastern Standard Time tonight, your class purchase should already have a fulfillment email, and you should have a separate email with a link to the private Facebook group. Please, when you enter the private Facebook group, follow the questions, provide your order number, the email you ordered under, your Facebook name if it's a different name, so that we can cut down on time researching to make sure that we're only admitting people that actually paid for the group. Okay. It'll help us a lot if you just follow the questions there and answer those. It's good to see everybody tonight. Let's say hello to a few people. Hello, Miss Camille. Oh, we just froze. Am I frozen on your end? Let me see. Hold on just a second. See, there we go. We unfroze. I don't know if it froze on your end or not, but everything froze again on my end. That was really odd. So thank you for your patience with this. There's things I can control and things I cannot control, and the things I cannot control, I just can't, so I don't get stressed about them. Hey, Becky, how are you? Hello, Deborah. Oh, aren't they turned out so pretty, right? And then I got to put a little diamond dust on there, so I was happy. Oh, and good, Debbie, you just got it. So, and it popped up in the numbers too. I can see it on multiple places. Hey, Barbara, how are you tonight? Hi, Sally, how are you doing? Nadine got her text. Awesome. You see that little glitch though when I'm putting messages up, how it's just not as fast as it normally is. So hopefully we won't freeze up. Thank you, Miss Camille. I think it's going to be even prettier when I show you how we're going to finish out this bottom part and we add our little royal icing transfer cabbage roses to have the look of pom-pom. So we're tying the whole theme of roses together, but we're also getting the pom-pom look for a mitten. Again, you can do this design on any shape. You did not have to have this specific cookie. Let's see who this is here. Hello. Oh, hello. I'm not sure who this is though. Is it maybe Janie? Because it's Janie's birthday. We'll see who it is. But grant StreamYard permission so I can see your name so that when I put it up on the screen, it stays in the video. Hello, Miss Allison. I hope you have power still. It took her over 12 hours to get power back after our ice and snowstorm yesterday. Maybe even, was it 24 hours really, Allison? Or more like 12? I'm not sure. Hey, Barbie, how are you? Hello there. Hello. Hi, Jen. Hello, how are you? Happy New Year. I did freeze for a second. See, I thought so. Just just a little quirky sometimes. All right. Thank you, Miss Becky. Thank you, Pamela. And Janie, yes, it's you. Okay, good. Good. Thank you. Well, happy birthday, Janie. I hope this next year is the best one yet. Hello, Miss Karen. 10-ish hours. Okay. Well, 10-ish hours in below 30-degree weather is still cold if that's your only source of heat. And I don't know if that's still your only source of heat. So I know you were somewhere else for most of what it happened, but it's still odd, right? All right. Well, let's jump in. I want to show you something really quick. If you're in the Valentine class, give me about 15 minutes after whenever this video ends tonight, and then jump onto the group, because you're going to get to download the first Cookie Snack Attack educational cookie system cards. So you get to download the first cards. So I'm going to show them to you real quick because I'm so excited about this. It's something that we will be able to do for you in paid classes, and we'll be providing one that you can purchase and download after Tuesday classes. So tonight when we get done, I'll take a photograph of our finished cookies. I'm going to drop that really quickly into the background that's already laid out. The textures and everything are already listed. And you will have 2 files over on the coffee shop, which is ko-fi. If someone is on here and can find the link, please. There was a question earlier about the coffee shop. It's an artist support site that doesn't take a commission. So we receive 100%, other than processing fees for using credit cards, we receive 100% of what you guys donate to keep the live stream going, and 100% of the purchases that go through that website, which is so wonderful because so many other platforms take a big cut. And what we're trying to do is just keep improving everything for the live stream. And one of the things for this year is I would like to put more of a powerhouse computer in place and some more powerhouse software so I can actually edit down some of our longer videos for the purposes of making reels and do videos where it's really sped up. So it's just fun to watch them, right? So that if you don't want to watch an hour-and-a-half video, you can just flip through something without sound or maybe music in the background. But that's one of the things for this year that once I have more time to focus on that is on the plans. So we have to keep moving in an upward and forward direction. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah, Allison, there are still a lot of people in our area without power. Our roads are really good now, so I feel like it's pretty safe to be out, but we are, an hour and 15 minutes west of I-95. And if any of you have TV or watch the news, you saw what an absolute fiasco I-95 was in our area and how many hours. There were some people stuck on I-95 for over 25 hours. Sally, watch the replay and let me know what you think, friend. Hello. Thank you, Barbie. This is the link to our shop. So right after the video is done tonight, if you're in the Valentine class, then you can go and download the first set of cards, which were included in your paid class. Then I'll need about an hour or so to finish up the one from tonight's class. So you can get it tomorrow. It's not going to disappear. It's not going to go up in price, but I'll be loading the index cards, which we talked about in the divider cards. We talked about these earlier today, how these are going to be listed. That's in the first video. And then I'm excited to show you this. This is the first set of 7 cards that comes with a paid class. So this is what your cards are going to look like. There's always going to be one with the divider that says 2020 Valentine class. So whatever paid class it is, this info will be here. You'll have a breakdown of info here, which I went over this morning. And I'm only going to show you one of the cards. okay, that's in the set, one of the 6 cookies. So your cookie cards are going to look like this. It's going to have a photo of the finished cookie. It's going to have the name of the cookie, the size of the cookie. Was it a metal or a 3D print? And if there's a particular shop where you can buy the cookie, I'll share that info right there. The skill level of just this cookie, not the overall skill level of the class, but the skill level of the particular cookie, okay? That way you can decide when you're making cookies. That's going to give you a good frame of reference for how long something's going to take, okay? Janie, I can see your name now, hon. It looks perfect. So, and then you're going to have a list of techniques. Every technique that we're going to do in the cookie is going to be there. You're going to see what icing colors and what second you need. And then, of course, it's got the all rights reserved by me, my business Seriously Sweet, and my group Cookie Snack Attack. Don't reproduce any part of this without my express written consent, as I am the designer, instructor, and content creator for these. So these are for people that pay for them, okay? And every time you do a class, it's okay with me if you have a local cookie group and you guys want to gather and do the class together, but everyone that's doing the class needs to sign up and pay for the class. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So let's go over the code at the bottom of this card. So when you download these later, you'll understand. 2022 is the year, 01 is January, 22 is the day of the class. That way, when you come back to these later, you'll know where to go to find the videos. Valentine class, it's going to be held via Zoom, but when you're looking at it later, you'll know it was held via Zoom. And then it was in a private Facebook group, okay? Card 2 of 7. So there are all of these cards, all broken down. All of the pictures of the different cookies are here. And you've got your master index card here. And then, of course, you can print out these and put them in other areas. So if you have a baking theme section and you want to use one of these templates that you bought from the coffee shop, you can write baking up here, and then you can print this as many times as you want. So just save these to your computer, print it as many times as you want, and put it in as many different themes or under different index tabs as you want to, okay? So it'll keep it nice and easy. I do recommend you print it on 60-pound cardstock. You can see it's a good firm paper. They don't need to be laminated. They're going to hold up great, and they fit perfect in a photo box, which can be easily found at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joann, any of the places that sell those little boxes. All right, let's jump in. It is 13 minutes in. If someone will drop that in the comments, let's take a look at this really quick. Yay. I so hope you guys like this, and I'm hoping it helps you learn a little more, stay a little more organized, and make more profit. I can see your name. I think let's see. Not feeling the love, StreamYard. Sorry, Kat. So I hope that you love this cookie education system. It's specifically designed for you guys with Cookie Snack Attack. And when you see your files, you're going to love it because the way I save the file names is just as organized and will automatically sort. So for instance, year, month, day, and then when you see the file, it's literally going to say 1 of 7, and then the title and the info, and the next one says 2 of 7. So when you download these 7 separate files for the Valentine class people, when you download your first 7 files that will be loaded right after class tonight, save them to a folder that says 2022 01 22 Valentine class. Set up a folder before you do your download, drop them all in there. And then when you click on that, as long as you're in the view of list, they're automatically going to sort. So if you keep one master folder for everything you download for the Cookie Snack Attack cookie education system, then they're automatically going to fall in date order and then in card order. So it's going to be so easy to find things. The other thing I wanted to mention to you is if we do a card on Tutorial Tuesday, one of the other things you're going to have in your computer saved version is going to be a hyperlink that if you click on it, it's going to take you right to these videos in the YouTube channel. Now, clearly this one does not have that because this is in a private Facebook group, but your 2 Tutorial Tuesday tutorials will have a link that if you save the file and you go to look this up on your computer, if you click on it, it's going to take you right over to the YouTube channel and directly to the video that goes with that particular cookie. So for instance, when I create and then upload a card, this is going to be card 1 and this will be card 2, the one we're going to do tonight for today. They're going to have a link to the YouTube channel for their particular videos. So much fun. And this, I think, is going to make it super easy for you to go back and find those things and you won't be searching. And by the way, I am trying to get updated on all the little thumbnails on both YouTube and Facebook with final pictures of the cookie showing again. But that kind of went by the wayside for a while because I just got so overrun with projects and designing things. All right, they're so cute, right? The jars, did you love it? We're doing that in class. Thank you, guys. I appreciate all of the feedback. Thank you. Thank you. Now, this is what I tried to say. If you're happy, let me know in the video stream. If you're not happy, maybe message me so we can chat. Maybe don't scream it across the internet. You guys know it's hard business out there. It's a rough racket. Oh, Dee Dee, I'm so glad that you like this. I think this will help everyone. Thank you, Becky. Oh, I'm so excited because I think it's going to help a lot. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's jump in and get on our cookie. We're going to do a different technique tonight. So in this morning's video, we talk all about how to create this cool crackle finish. Okay, we also discussed that you could have done these on round, hexagon, squares. I told you to just use up whatever cookies you have. I happen to be using up some extra mittens, so I thought it'd be fun to do this and to do 2 matching, especially since this is going to be your first. The real ulterior motive is going to come out right now. I thought it would be nicer for me to use up mittens than my generic shapes, since this will be the first Cookie Snack Attack Cookie Education System cards that my 2 Tutorial Tuesday Cookie Snack Attackers get to download. So I wanted you to have a really pretty picture in case you store these in date order. So just saying. How silly is that? But you know, I think of all the little detail things. And Rebecca says, happy. That's exciting. And I think I'm getting a round of applause from Phyllis. I think that's what it is. No, I can't, but I will recommend something, Kat. Something I did notice as I was doing the cards. I'm going to keep a little thing of paper clips. Mine will probably be pink because that's just how I roll. But I'm going to keep a little thing of paper clips handy because my 7 cards, I'm going to put them together. I'm going to have my index divider in the front, and I'm going to put a paper clip to keep that 7 together. Right. And then I'll just place the 7, I'll place paper clips at different spots so that they're not like all on the right hand side taking up too much room in the box. But I think a grouping like that is going to need multiple clips so that they stay together. Right. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's jump on here. This morning in our video, we did these beautiful 2-tone roses. We added some diamond dust, which you can see. Look how sparkly. I love it. Okay, so there was 3 things we need to finish up from this morning's cookie. I want to show you this. After we got off the air, I took a little bit of my white icing and I took some sheets of parchment. We're going to be doing something that is super handy in the summertime for ice cream. It's great on cakes if you want this certain look. You can spread out your icing, and I just used a thingamajiggy, spread it real thin, pop this in the dehydrator. They're totally dry and crispy. I'm just going to bust them up with my fingers on top of this paper towel, okay? And I'm doing it on the paper towel because then I'm going to put them over into a little bowl. And I think that I brought the blue bowl in here. I normally work with white bowls. I have one blue bowl for those occasions where I have something white and I want you to be able to see it. So what I'm doing now is just cracking this up into small pieces. It's great for making like frosted snow pieces, to make it look like the frosted edging for ice cream cones. This is a way you can make your own sprinkles, and you make it from your own icing that you're using in the same color that you're already using, so your sprinkles match. Hey, Mary Jean, let me take that off. Love it, love it. Karen, I'm so glad you like the cards. Mary Jean, I'm glad you made it. We will miss Jennifer Saher tonight. She had speech therapy, so she said hello to everybody, but then had to go. So we'll catch up with her later. So you can see what I'm doing, guys, just breaking this into small pieces, and you can see how thin. It's just really paper thin. In some places you can see through it because I just want it to look like little ice pieces, like frosted pieces would look on a mug. This is a great thing to do if you're going to do like a frosted beer mug or something like that. Or maybe you're doing a frosted beer cake. You would want to color these in like a beer color, and then you could bust them up to make the frosty part around the mug. So lots of uses, not just for this, but I want to do this on the edge of my mitten tonight because I want it to look like that cool texture that's real popular right now on the mittens. But I wanted to do it in royal icing and not wafer paper because, in fact, this looks very much like ground up wafer paper, but I wanted mine to all be royal icing. I do, excuse me, I do enjoy using mixed mediums. I love to work with wafer paper, but as much as possible, I do try to create the things that we're working with in royal icing so that that's your foundation and you can jump off from there if you need to do something different. Like maybe you didn't have time to make this. You can use that wonderful snow wafer paper by Intricate Edibles, which I love. We used it recently on another cookie. All right, let's get this into our bowl. Please say hello and maybe tell me tonight where you're watching from. And if we have anybody watching from other countries, I love that. I know Jen is here from Canada. Nadine is watching from Canada if they're still with us. But let me know if we have any others tonight. It's probably a bit too early for Miss Sandy to have joined us. But if you're here, Sandy, say hello. We love it when you visit. So this will give you a better view of how small we crunched it up, okay? And it's royal icing, dried thin. I put it in the dehydrator. It was dry in just a couple of hours. All right, let's finish this one up from this morning. So I've just got, hey, Michelle, how are you? Hi, Laura, how are you doing tonight? Hello, who's watching from Tennessee? Hey, Camille, how are you? Is that April that's watching? Hey, Sandy. All right, so what we're going to do is just come straight across here. We're going to completely cover it in this, so you can do it in an 18-second outline flood consistency, or you can do it in thick. Either one is going to work. So I'm just going to zigzag, give myself a nice little zigzag, because if I can get this on fast enough, it's going to give me different levels of my texture because I'm doing a zigzag. So I've got like hills and valleys, so to speak, right? So let's put this let's knock everything to one side, put this into the bowl. I didn't pull my sprinkle return trays over here. And honestly, with this little bits of royal icing, it's a little bit easier to work right in the bowl. So everything falls back in. But look at that super cute texture. Let's put a little more on the bottom. And that way it'll be nice and full. I'm kind of just rolling it in there. And it has that nice, funky wool texture. Can you see that? Let's turn that this way so you can see it. I'll get it out of the light a little bit. But isn't that neat? So it looks like that fuzzy sweater texture or the fuzzy glove texture. All right, so we're going to set that to the side. And I'm going to use a little bit of our white icing, and I'm going to attach the two pink royal icing transfers I made several days ago in a separate video, so you can watch that if you want to. These were made with a number 16 or a number 18 star tip, and they're just little cabbage roses. Okay, but we're going to attach these off to the side. So I had other flowers made like this that I made in the other video. I've got flowers like that, but I decided it would look super cute to make my little pom-poms in cabbage roses like the cabbage roses that we made on the cookie, rather than doing this as the little add-on piece. Okay, I just kind of thematically want it to all look good together. So now we're going to add on our 2 little pom-pom pieces. This is just like to be the balls on the gloves. You know how they have those balls that hang down off the side? So we're just going to put 2 of those on there. All right. And that's going to be it for this cookie. If you wanted to, this cookie can be sealed with spray PME glaze, would be fantastic. And it will seal everything up, and it would be a great ornament. It can go on a cookie garland on your Christmas tree. So cute. I just love it. And I love the little flowers. And yes, I'm getting you ready for springtime, because even though there's ice outside and we had a massive snowstorm yesterday, as many of you did as well, we are looking forward to spring because it's January and spring will be here by March. We hope. So I'm going to pop this one in the dehydrator, let it get a real good setup going so that I can photograph it and get your card together for you tonight. But you can see how that would make absolutely beautiful ice crystals on an ice cream cone or an ice cream sundae cookie, something like that, and still keep it all in the icing family versus adding wafer paper. Okay. All right, let's jump on tonight's cookie. If someone will mark in the video. Oh, good, Deborah. I'm really glad you liked it. Hey, Priscilla, I'm so glad you made it tonight. Kathy is in Tennessee. Okay, cool. Heather. Heather, yes, it counts. It counts. It's good to see you. I hope your New Year is going well. That's so funny. Camille's in Utah. Sandy's in West Virginia. You guys know I'm in Virginia, so I'm always streaming East Coast time. We're going to jump on at the 27-minute mark and do our cookie. Oh, hold on. We need to go. Don't write that down yet. We have one thing that I wanted to do. Remember this morning I told you that I wanted to come back and make some of my leaves 3D to tie into my pom-poms. So I have a little bag. Hey, Carmen, how are you? I have a little bag of really thick mint green. And remember this morning I mentioned that I'm keeping all my colors the same so that if you do the Valentine class and you create the cookies from Tutorial Tuesday, you'll have a big display of cookies that you can photograph. And I have a reason for wanting you to photograph it for a collaboration. So I'm hoping that you guys are all going to get involved in that. Hey, Renee, how are you? So what we're going to do, let me move the cookies out of the way since I have wet icing just in case this plastic bit falls. But we're going to just do a special cut on here instead of breaking out a piping tip. We're going to cut this into the chicken beak. This is what I call the chicken beak. Seam up, flatten it out, cut an inverted V into your bag. It looks like a chicken beak. You're going to turn it to the side so it looks like it's actually pecking you. For those of you who don't have chickens or have never experienced having chickens or ducks or any kind of birds, I'm sorry. You should have that experience at least once. Maybe you only need to have it once, but you should have it at least once. So we're going to turn this sideways and we're going to pipe just a couple of 3D leaves alongside of our wet on wet technique leaves. And that's going to give us another layer on these cookies. Isn't that so pretty? The reason I want you to practice this is because springtime's right around the corner. Baby showers will be going like crazy. And this particular cut on your bag makes it so easy to do florals, Mother's Day, baby showers, just all kinds of things. And you know, I like having multiple layers and multiple textures on cookies. I think it just gives them great visual appeal and it keeps people guessing whether they're really cookies or not. So I'm just a little leaf here and there on them. It doesn't have to cover up every one of the wet on wet techniques that we did earlier, but it just gives a little more interest to your cookie. Okay. You see what we did? And I'll get you a good photograph later so you can see the heads on and the rosette centers on the cabbage roses. All right, so at minute marker 29, let's go ahead and jump on tonight's cookie. What we're going to do tonight is a knit technique. So I'm going to do it in green. I'm going to be using that thick green that I just had in the bag that I cut the tip on it. So I need to quickly just grab another tipless piping bag. All right, and I'm going to drop this bag with my thick icing just right down into it. I'm going to take the bag clip off because I want to cut all this excess off so it's not up in the camera, causing the camera to refocus. But you could have just left the clip on the inner bag and used the outer bag. I'm going to cut this low so it's not causing the camera to blare in and out. And I'm going to cut as fine a point down here as I want my knit to be. This is mint green Barbie from the Valentine product kits. And thank you again, you guys, for another sellout. Hey, come here. You want to come in? You want to come over here? Nope. Okay. Anna's watching from afar. Anna had surgery. It was almost a week ago that Anna had surgery, and the baby is doing fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and start here. We're going to do that same finish with the fur down at the bottom of this one. We are going to probably, my best guess is use one of the flowers because I just want to. I want to use that in what we're doing. We've got a round point cut. I'm just going to do a little test on my paper towel, see how I feel about my icing here. And you know what, you guys? I can tell you right. Oh, that's the wrong bag. That's why it's too runny. Hold on one second. I grabbed the, hey, Leanne, how are you? I grabbed the flood consistency, and I need to be using the thick icing or we'll never get that pretty cable knit. So let's drop this one in. We're going to put a bag clip on it. I love these neon bag clips from Bee's Baked Art. Jen Harris, if you're on here tonight, they're my fave. You guys know I love her bags. They're textured, which is great for my hand to get a grip. They are thick, so I have never had one of these bags rupture. Never lost any cookies. All right, so I think what I think might actually be easier, guys, is to do the bottom of the mitten first. So I'm coming in about 1/4 of an inch so I don't completely hide that beautiful crackle, because remember, I was doing this because I wanted to have that finish on my cookie that made it look like I was decorating a wooden ornament. So I'm using some thick white. Karen, you like these too? Let's go ahead and put this on from the get-go so that when we do our texture mitt, we won't have to wait for it to dry, because if we did the knit and it was still wet and then we tried to add this little bit of sprinkle or fur to our cookie, then what would happen is it would stick to our cable knit too. And we want two very different looks. And by putting this on first, we can move quickly to the next phase of the cookie. And I want lots of this standing up. Can you see what I did? How I made sure that I got some pieces standing up so it's really frosted looking. Also, you guys, there's a little bit of a piece of a different color from the parchment sheet. So I'm just going to tuck that down in rather than try to pull it out. It'll just be a little easier. So there's a little pink in there and I don't want that showing. I want a good clean color separation. So let's get started with the cable knit. What's so nice about this is we're going to do it on top of the crackle finish. So that will show through. So you'll have that kind of like rough woolen texture to your mitten. And this is going to be a good cookie for people that don't like tons of icing. And I'm using a contrasting color, but I'm staying in the same color scheme so that these will fit in with my Valentine cookies, okay? So what I'm going to do is just do a little test line over here to make sure that it's coming out of the bag nicely. It is. It's very matte in finish relative to this one. So that's a good thick icing. You can see I'm looking at it enough. It's not moving, which is what you want when you're going to start doing cable knit. And we're going to make ours kind of rounded, okay? So what we're going to do is put down our stripes first. There's a million ways to do cable knit, you guys. This is just the one that I like. Please don't feel like you have to do it this way if you prefer to do it another. Okay, it's not going to hurt my feelings at all. All right, so I'm going to come from the left up to the top. I'm going to come from the right all the way up to the top. And what I'm doing is just applying steady pressure. It's pressure piping because it's a really thick icing. And I'm meeting up here at the top. Okay. Now, because of the way I want to do my cable knit is what's determining how I'm doing my lines on the glove. So just follow along. I'm going to put down a second line about 1/4 of an inch in. Just follow along with what's already done. But when I get to the top, I'm going to come up to the top of the glove. So you can see the area gets smaller there. I'm going to do the same thing on the right-hand side. And I'm going to continue to create this pattern of lines until I meet in the center. Okay. You see what we're doing? Now I'm going to go ahead and just put one line down the center so that I know where this is going to end up. Okay, and I have room to get one more line on either side that's curved in the appropriate direction to give you you're on the evening live, Julie. You made it to a live. You are not on a replay. So I'm going to use the last 2 sections that are open to still give a little movement in the right direction to make it look as if my glove is rounded. So I'm not doing straight up lines. I'm still having a little curve. I'm going to do that on both sides of my center. Okay, and I'm going to use the tip of my bag and just kind of melt all this together with a little bit of vibration. I don't want any points up there. Now let's do the same thing on my thumb of my glove, on the thumb, but let's only do 3, let's do 4 lines. And I'll show you why. We're going to start at this same spot and come up. We're going to stay about 1/4 of an inch in. We're going to come to the tip of that glove. Then we're going to start over here. And again, we're leaving some of our crackle finish exposed. And we're going to try really hard to get 2 more lines in here. And you'll understand why in just a minute. Actually, we're going to go with 1 because I want my cable knit to look really good. I want my sweater pattern to look super nice. I think this will do a better job for us. Okay, now just for video purposes, I'm going to show you how I would decide how to do this. Now, I already did a demo cookie for myself, so I know it's going to work out the way I want it to, but I just want you to see how I decide on this, okay? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections. So that means 3 of our sets of lines can be pulled together for our cable knit. So we're going to start on this section is going to be cable knit. We're going to skip a section. We're going to come here and it's going to be cable knit. We're going to skip a section. We're going to come here and it's going to be cable knit. Skip a section and then we're going to come here. And that way it's going to give us more of a woven look like a glove would actually be, where they're up and down. So let me just make this a little bit, I don't want to make it too dark because I want a nice photo for you for your cards, your educational system cards. But I want to put a dot so that I don't miss a section, because now what we're going to do is we're going to do our cross hatch pattern and connect these 2 lines to make 1 row of cable. We'll connect these 2 and this will be open. Okay, so you'll see what I mean in a second. I'm going to flip the cookie all the way around. You know what? When I started flipping this, I saw a cactus. Did you guys see a cactus? Do you see that? All right, so purge the tip of your bag. You don't want any extra icing because this needs to be kind of delicate. And we're pressure piping. So what that means is we're building up a ball of icing, releasing the pressure, and then dragging the bag, not touching the cookie, but just dragging the bag so that it pulls the icing to a point. Then we'll repeat the pattern on the other side, and we're going to crisscross this all the way to the top of the glove. So I'm setting this icing, pressure, 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 release the pressure, pull, and we need to pull it, okay? Oops. I'm going to make a bigger dot here. All right. And we're going to go all the way to the top of the glove. It's going to be a little hard for you to see it because this icing is so thick. All right. Let me see. I don't know if I can zoom. Let me see if I can zoom in to just this little area. I think it'll be a little more helpful, and I'll just work awkward if I need to. Let me just see if I can get this any closer though, because I think seeing it up close is super helpful. Does that look pretty clear to you guys? That is as large as I can go. So I'll do one section super close like this, but just know because we're so zoomed in, if my hand gets in the way, it's going to block you because it is such a tight shot there. And I'm going to set my little flower out of the way. So we're pressure piping a ball and then crossing over the item that was before it. And I have to rest my arm. We're coming down, lining up, pressure piping, releasing, pulling out to a point, crossing to the other side, a ball, and then pulling over. And this is going to make it look like a woven glove. Now, if I were doing a whole bunch of these cookies and I didn't want to go through the baking and the crackle finish part of this, then what I would have done is I would have filled in these alternating sections with just a regular flood icing, and I would have come back and immediately started on my cable knit, okay? And obviously, if you want your cable knit to go in the other direction, as in you want your crisscross running down the glove and not up the glove, then you would have started at the top of the glove and gone towards the bottom as your work area, okay? Can you guys see this okay? Somebody, let me get back on StreamYard and see if anybody's leaving comments. I want to make sure you can see it, okay? And do you see how my ball is at the end of the point? I make sure my point comes all the way over to the other line, and then my next ball starts on top of that and then crosses back over. And the reason I'm doing that is because I really want that thick woolen woven look. Okay, there's a lot of different textures you can create. This is just the one I chose for this cookie. Doesn't have to be done this way. There's tons of ways to do this. This is just what I chose for you tonight, and I'm just trying to give you all the details of why I chose it, because I want this really cool woven look where it looks like I sculpted it. Okay, it's not sculpted. You can see I'm pressure piping it, but it looks like it's sculpted, or that I used a fondant mold because it's so detailed. This is a great cookie, a mitt, a sweater, stockings. These are great cookies to practice on this technique on, because anything that you're doing, if there's an error, it's supposed to look rough and woolen. So it's great if you see all of that. Okay, let's lift it, and then we're going to go back and do the next set. But you see how nice and puffy it is? And you see how fun it is that you have this not only color contrast, but your textile texture contrast with what we did down here for the furry part of our mitten. Okay, now it's a mitten. I could have sprayed the white with some diamond dust, but I did feel the need to refrain from that. So that's the only reason that I didn't put my diamond dust on here. I just thought this one would look really cool on its own without it. Now, keeping the movement of our lines in our mind, I want the next section to also be curving from the outside to the top. So starting over here, big ball, pull forward, connect the lines, start halfway there, grab it, go over the other line. Big ball here. This only works if your icing consistency is right. So if your icing is melting together and it doesn't look separate and all those little ridges in it 30 to 40 seconds later, then you definitely have to stop and rebag your icing, or you're going to be very frustrated. You're going to think you don't know how to do this, but it's not you, it's your icing consistency. You might be piping this perfectly, but then get very frustrated with the whole thing because your icing's melting together. Well, don't give up. Just rebag your icing. The bags are like 6 cents a piece, maybe a nickel a piece, and it'll take you a minute or two. So just stop what you're doing, because this is a beautiful cookie to turn into a feature cookie. This kind of piping, people look at this and they're like, how'd you do that? That's what your customers that do not create cookies for a living are going to be thinking when they look at this cookie, because they're going to be like, is that all separate? How'd they do that? I like this on the crackle finish too, because it's going to be great for my customers that don't like a lot of royal icing. This is just really nice for them. It's got some on there, so you have the taste, the sweetness, but it's not overloaded or a 1/4 inch thick on the icing, right? We haven't created so many layers that they're like in sugar rush after one bite. Now it's a little harder, you guys, seriously, without using a cookie turntable to do this really nicely for you, but I think I'm doing okay. I think I'm doing okay without my cookie turntable. And obviously you notice, right, you can see in the video that I'm tapering this as I get to the top, because that last line, I want that last line to run in a curve, right? Can you see that? I want it to run in that curve, so I have that visual movement of coming up to the top of the cookie here. And I've also joined my knit. This is exactly what it looks like on a glove in case you've never knit something before or crocheted. You see how I joined those two together? So I have a V, so the movement is coming to the center of the cookie. Okay, now I'm going to have to turn this and I'm going to move it up. Let me flip this over so I don't get this all over everything. Let's just flip this over because I'm going to have to go really high since we're so zoomed in. Finding my black dot so I'm in the right section. I've purged the tip of the bag. Now I want to go in a curve motion the other direction, right? So we want to start again on the left side, releasing. We're building up, connecting that line. Can you see that nice and clear? All right, now I think you have really good video on how to do this, so I'm going to go a little faster through the ending here because I think that I very clearly showed this for the first two sections. I want to get to where I can attach my flower. I don't see any questions. Myra, you like the knit pattern? Myra, did you get your text okay tonight? I even sent a little picture of the first glove that we were finishing up tonight. I'm so sorry I forgot to text you guys this morning. I thought about it and then I started doing something on the computer because StreamYard was just either StreamYard or Facebook, one or the other of them was causing me to be locked out of one of the groups for streaming. So I was trying to fix that. You know, I check all this stuff an hour before we start almost every time we live stream. I check everything ahead of time. And then as soon as it's time to live stream, then something inevitably happens. So I've just decided to not let it get to me. And we're just going to try to use technology as best we can this year. I'm going to keep improving things and not get discouraged by it because I can see, looking at a video where I started live streaming 2 years ago in February, I look at those videos that I was doing for the kids here locally versus what we're doing now, and I just see 1000% improvement. So I want to keep heading in that direction. Oh, good. I'm glad you got that. Now let's go ahead and do our finger, but I want our finger to curve the other direction. So I'm going to have to turn this a little bit. All right. I'm saying finger, but I meant thumb. I hope you guys picked up on that. I meant the thumb of our glove. My icing is absolutely perfect consistency for this tonight. I couldn't ask for better icing. You can see even clear back over to the first section. It's staying exactly like I put it down on the cookie. It's not melting together. I'm not having a whole bunch of all these peaks all over the place because it's too dry. I mean, it's just right. Now I'm going to let you guys decide. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not totally thrilled with something, but I'm going to let you decide so you can vote. Well, I mean, I don't hate it, but I kind of feel like I want to go fill in these sections with my flood consistency mint green that matches my thick green. So I'm going to let you vote on the right-hand side. Should I leave it as is or should I flood it in? And I am willing to do either. And I don't hate it this way. I just think it would look a little nicer if the green background matched, because I can still see plenty of my crackle finish around the edge. So what do you think? Flood it, flood it, flood. Oh, yeah, everyone's saying flood it. Okay, so to me, this kind of looks unfinished. How about to you guys? So this is my flood consistency. In here, I'm just going to be squeezing that in, and you guys will see it's going to run to the parts that are holding it back, which if you're new to cooking, we call that outline area a dam, and that means it holds back the thinner icing. So that's all I'm doing. It's not taking very much at all, and I'm just flooding in those sections where we put down those lines, and those lines are going to hold it back. And you can see I don't even have to pick up my scribe. It's automatically going into those areas because I have a good flood consistency here. And if you feel like you need to do something, just give a little vibration with the tip of your bag. And I love this so much better. So thank you for voting for flooding, because I really like how this is looking. I like this so much better. Oh, love it. And I feel like I can still see that it looks like it's done on top of a wooden mitten cut out, because it does look, that crackle finish looks like we painted over rustic wood, and I love that. But I think this is perfect. Yeah, I like that a lot. Do you guys like that? Hey, Mimi, Happy New Year. Okay, and then remember, this is where my ribbon can go to hang these. Okay, and then let's go ahead. Do you like this flower, or do you want to keep it a cabbage rose like what we put on our other glove, which I'll show you in a second, or do you want to do a smaller flared out rose? So you pick. Let's call this 1, this 2, and this 3, and this one will be our accent piece on this mitten, right? Like right in here. So vote for 1, 2, or 3 over in the comments. I do too, Rebecca. So much better. Hey, Phyllis, how are you? Okay, so let's, and needlepoint scribe is kind of the key we talked about this morning for those cabbage roses. But remember, I said don't buy one because I've already ordered them for the next kit, which will be the Easter kit. We're voting. I see a lot of 3s. You guys like this one? Well, yeah, no, there's more 3s than 1s. I'm going to give you just another couple of seconds to vote, okay? But I think right now we're looking at this one. And we're just going to tuck it in here. And you guys, this one might actually be the best one, because size-wise for our photographs, it's probably a more appropriate proportion to go with this beauty cookie. Aren't these pretty? Look at that. Let's zoom out a little bit more so you can see both of them. We'll go back to about a 200%. So I think that's good. You can see those and still see a lot of detail, right? So what I think we're going to go with 3 though, based on this. Yeah, 3. Nicole, hey, how are you? Now, definitely, I don't particularly like this one with this because it doesn't tie into the roses. So I would have ruled this one out. And this one just seems a little big. I can go with big, but maybe more on a toboggan. And then just so you can see, for those of you that are voting 3, let's make sure you like your vote. I feel like that maybe is more sized appropriately to match. And then we're going to add a couple of leaves. You feel good? Changing your vote to 3. Okay, I'm going to go with 3. Let's do 3. And guys, anybody that's going to CookieCon, don't forget that January 8th is your cutoff date if you are no longer able to go, to get full refunds for everything. But if you are going, I hope you signed up to take my mixed medium class, where we are doing this fun cookie. This is what I'm going to be teaching you guys as an elective in CookieCon. So it's totally free class for you guys. It came with as one of the things that you could choose as part of your electives. So I'm hoping you're taking class with me. And I think tomorrow I'll be popping on talking about this cookie and telling you which time slots and how many spaces I have left, because they're super limited. Yay! So much fun. I'm almost totally full, which means I'll be getting to meet up with 90 of you specifically in class time. I'm so excited about that. All right, let's put this over here so I don't spill it, because you know I will. And let's get our thick green. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cut the tip on my thick green again, because we're going to do a leaf. So remember, we're doing the bird beak. We're cutting an inward V on our bag to mimic a 67 piping tip. Okay, you see that? So like a chicken beak, we're going to turn it sideways like it's pecking you. A lot of people have trouble remembering how to hold the bag once they've cut it. The wallpaper is going to be so much fun, Barbie. I promise you, you're going to love it. And it's not as complicated as people think it is. I promise you, it isn't. You can make it complicated, but it doesn't have to be. So I'm putting a little bit of thick on the back. I'm going to attach this to my cookie. So guys, I would use pink, white, or green to attach this, nothing else, because pink, white, or green, whatever I attach it with, if a little bit comes out, it's going to blend in with what's already on the cookie. So let's add just a couple of leaves, and you can see the bouncing is giving me a really detailed leaf. I'm able to do that because my icing is the perfect consistency tonight. So let's put another one on this side. This is also going to help this stay attached to the cookie. We really only need 2. And there you have it. So you have your fun floral mitten where we did 2-tone roses and added our royal icing transfers here. Over here, we did a knit texture with filling in the same color. Both of them are on a crackle finish cookie, which we discussed thoroughly how to accomplish this morning. And then here we've got a royal icing floral transfer. And I showed you I've already been making springtime royal icing transfers, right? In Valentine colors, so that I just have them off to the side and handy. I've got ivory, light pink, red, and a turquoise. I should have made some in mint. I'm going to use my leftover thick mint icing to make a few tonight so that I have a few things. But usually when I'm doing my mint in thick, I'm using it for leaves anyway. So I try to mix up the colors. But these are our 2 gloves, okay? Don't forget, if you haven't signed up for the Valentine class, the kits are sold out, but the Valentine class, Debbie, watch the video from this morning because there's some pretty specific tips that will really help you. And I went over all of that this morning in detail because I know it doesn't work well for some people, but there's just some minor tweaks you can make that will really help you make that work and make it look like carved wood. I mean, just look at the side of the cookie, how great the finish is on that. So if you're making showpieces or 3D pieces, this is a great technique to use. Lachey, how are you this evening? It's good to see you. Okay, so first, as soon as we finish up this video, make sure if you want to purchase the Valentine class, it's up for sale on our website, www.seriouslysweetcupcakes.com. It's up for sale. If you purchase this class before 7:30 Eastern Standard Time tonight, then you were already sent a link to get into the group. Make sure you go and get in that group as soon as possible. Click on the 3 little dots and set your notifications to all so that you're seeing everything as I'm because I'm actually ahead of schedule. You've already got both of your videos in there, one for icing, one for dough. You've got PDF files for icing and for dough, a PDF file for making edible glue if you want to make edible glue. Your PDFs for your supply list are in there. Your supply list is broken into 2 pieces. It's got the list of things that came in the box that are required for class. And then at the bottom, even if you bought the box, there's a few additional things in a section at the bottom that you'll need those. If you didn't buy the product box, if you missed out on that or they were sold out before you got to it and you still want to do the class, you can just use the whole list to make sure you have everything for class. You can use alternating cutters. The techniques will still work on other cutters. Just get as close as you can if you want your set to look like the set that we photographed. And first thing I'm going to do as soon as the video ends is I'm going to upload the set of 7 cards. You guys in that paid class are the first ones to get the Cookie Snack Attack Cookie Education System cards. The first set is a set of 7 cards. Every is individually laid out. And we've got techniques listed, what level of cookie it is, the size of the cookie, metal or 3D printing. We've got all that information for you so you can get started with this. And then, you guys, it's already 8 o'clock, so I will do my best to get this loaded in the coffee shop tonight, but it may be tomorrow morning. I'll be loading the blank index cards to use in your photo box so that you can set your own themes up. And I will get the 2 cards loaded that I think I'm going to set these. I think I'm going to set these together as just, I don't know. Well, let's see. I know for sure this. If you just want one-time purchase of the index dividers, it's going to be $5 to get all 3 files, right, center, and left tabs. It'd be $5 to get this. You only need to download it once, and you can print it as many times as you want as we go into the year. But it's going to be $5 to get all 3. But I know that some people are only going to want right justified or left justified tabs because that's just how their brains work. So for you guys, I'm going to put up a separate purchase at $2 for the right and a separate purchase at $2 for the left. So if you only want to buy one, you can just buy one. Save that, keep it handy, keep it on your desktop. You can print out as many of these as you want. Also, they're going to print on 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper, and 2 of them will fit, but each file has to be saved separately. So what I did today when I was printing my 7 set of cards for the Valentine class is I just turned my paper and flipped it and put it back in a separate direction and printed on the other half so that I was really getting 2 things printed. Something like this, you could just go ahead and print 2 of them and have an extra one ready to go, so no big deal, okay? So hopefully this is going to help you, and you'll have a printout. I'm excited about it. Forward to feedback. Also, earlier in the video, I explained to you that at the bottom is always going to be your reference information. So 2022 is the year, 01 is the month, 22 is the day of the month or date of the month that the class is taking place. This is the Valentine class. It was held via Zoom. There's a private Facebook group, and this is card 1 of 7. That way, if something goes missing over time or gets separated, you know what set to go back to, okay? Valentine class, Valentine class. See how easy that is? Then this card, 2022-01-22, Valentine class. You know that's where this card goes for when you refile it after you use it. Via Zoom, private Facebook group, card 2 of 7. Easy peasy. So excited. Okay, now the difference on the coffee site, which is ko-fi. And to be completely transparent with you, when I look for YouTube videos about this platform that I'm using, they all say Ko-fi because it's K-O-F-I. I think to be coffee. I say coffee. If I'm pronouncing it wrong and you're part of the Ko-fi or coffee company, you have my apologies. Email and tell me what to say so that I'm saying it correctly for everyone. But it is ko-fi. Earlier in the Facebook comments, one of the ladies posted the link for you. So over there, you're going to be able to purchase these blank templates. You only need to buy them once. You don't need to buy these every week. But then weekly, as we do Tutorial Tuesday, I'm going to put in cards for the items that we make. It'll have a finished photograph, be laid out very similar to this. But down here, what it's going to say is Tutorial Tuesday is going to say TTT. It's going to say CSA for Cookie Snack Attack and TTT for Tutorial Tuesday. So once you know the system, you'll know the system. It'll be easy, I promise. All right, so excited that you guys spent so much time with me tonight. Again, I appreciate it. I appreciate all the donations. So thankful that all of our boxes sold out again. So remember, if the next set that I release completely sells out and it sells out that fast, we're going to start upping the quantity availability to 50 and go from there. We'll keep doing the thing as we're growing. As long as they continue to sell out, then we'll just keep increasing in increments of 10 until they cut me off, until they won't let me get more than that. Most of the things that are in your kit are ordered 3 to 4 months ahead of time. That's how far ahead our projects are, okay? All right. Have a fabulous night. Thank you for joining me. Happy New Year. Please be safe, stay well, and I will be seeing you tomorrow with a quick video to go over which hourly spots at CookieCon that I have openings for this class that I'm teaching as an elective at CookieCon, okay? And remember, I'm going to bring the other 3 cookies with me so you can see those as well, but this is the one that we're going to learn in class, okay? Super excited about all the cool things that are happening. And I think that's it for tonight. I think that's everything for tonight. I don't think I forgot anything. So, oh, and you guys are very, very welcome. All of you, Kelly, Janie, Barbie, Phyllis, Myra, thank you. I'm so excited. Debbie, Judy, thank you. I really, really, Mary Jean, you too. Really excited. Hopefully this is going to just help you level up your cooking and not drive yourselves crazy because you're going to be able to find everything and organize everything. So hopefully we're starting off 2022 in a way that is going to help you both mentally and with profitability. Okay. So we will be seeing you soon. Have a